Good afternoon, everybody. The first, I will behalf the people in Xi'an and another end of Silk Road say hello for everybody, especially for the people in Istanbul. And it's a map of China. Xi'an is in the middle. Perhaps for this reason, and Xi'an as a former capital city over 1,000 years. Yeah, if you see that from the Xizhou to Tang Dynasty, totally is 13 dynasty of Chinese. Xi'an as a capital city. For this reason, and Xi'an, not only on the ground, also underground, there are rich cultural heritage. This is map and show the location of historic city in Xi'an. And that one is a Zhou city, capital city, is about 3,000 years before. And that one is a Qing city. Part of them is another side of the river here. And that one is a Han city. Since Han Dynasty, the Silk Road is open. And that one, blue one, is the Tang Dynasty. In that period, Xi'an is maybe is the biggest city in the world. The population is close to 1 billion, 1 million. And after Tang Dynasty, Xi'an lost capital position and become as a commerce city. But still a lot of story happen over there. And in long history, 3,000 years, there are 4 of dynasty is most strong in the Chinese history. The first is, as I mentioned before, is the Zhou dynasty. It's beginning of China. And Qing is also very important periods. As you know, most famous is the Terracotta Soldier Museum. And since Qing Dynasty, China become huge country. And the Han Dynasty is continue the Qing Dynasty. It's extend the power for a big area. And for this reason, we call the Chinese for Han people. It's a map of Han city. Totally is about 36 square kilometers. And up to Tang Dynasty, and it's a very big city. Totally is about 83 square kilometers. The population is near 1 billion. And that is map shows the existing situation, the cultural heritage in Xi'an. Different point and different colors show the different types, the heritage, and contribute everywhere. Yeah, you can see what's the situation for us to face. And of course, very important not only for the heritage, for the normal heritage. Very important is Xi'an is east end of Silk Road. Yeah, here is Xi'an. Another is Istanbul. Yeah, a lot different road and connects east and west. And in between two cities, and there are rich cultural heritage. The east and west not only develop themselves, also have a big influence each other. For this reason, I and my team work for conservation work is long periods. For our work is concentrate 10 level. The first is historic environment, protection of historic environment. Second, of course, is conservation of a historic city. Is for huge scale, and then is historic landscape. And is still much things is also for the tombs and the cityscape, and also rivers, mountains, a lot of things. And then is a historical site and ruins, and especially for big, great, relax. And except this, the historical pattern and the deep structure is very important part for Xi'an. And then is a historical block, historical buildings, and monument. And it is also including inhabitants of intangible heritage, and is very important part of Xi'an. And of course, not only for old part, it's also for new developed. How to create a new architecture in the context of Xi'an is very important. We also do a lot of work and establish the database of a digit architecture. For example, for digit architecture museum in our campus. And for this reason, Xi'an have in the conservation field do a lot. A lot of things is first one in China. In 1981, the first conservation master plan of historic city is made by Xi'an. And since that, we have renewed this master plan several times. And this one? Another one, this one, okay. And now we just make some more complex, maybe in some view, is more perfect conservation plan now. And also, the first site museum is is found in Xi'an. It's about 1957, and after 50 years, that one is we also make a new design, renew it. And also, the first national archaeology park is concentrated in Xi'an. It's located in the first emperor of Qin Shi Huang. And as you know, the most famous museum also is the biggest site museum in the world over there. And also the biggest the City World program is finished 10 years before. We use the World Bank money and do the conservation work a long time. Up to now is also a very important project, very important case for the conservation in China. In 1985, a new historic museum constructed in Xi'an is also one of best museum in China. And in 2005, the most advanced site museum, Hanyangling Museum, concentrate in Xi'an. I'm architecture for this project. And in 2008, a new national park, a site park, is start work. Is a site is much dear with Tang Dynasty. It's the biggest palace site in Tang Dynasty. If we compare it, the Forbidden City in Beijing, is near four times bigger than Forbidden City, and 10 times bigger than Isen's old city, and 3 times for Pangbei. So it's quite big. Xi'an spent a lot of money for this project. From some talk, maybe is the biggest conservation project now in the world. We also, not only for the government supposed money for conservation, also we got some money from the private company. That one, Western market museum. And for this conservation work, we totally get from the private company. It's also a first case in China. In 2005, the ICMOS, the 15th ICMOS Congress is held in Xi'an. It's also first time this kind of a meeting held in China. And after that, 2006, for ICMOS community, make a Xi'an Center in Xi'an. It's very important not charge the conservation matter in China, also deal with Asia method. And also for historic block and intangible heritage and traditional craft, Xi'an finished a lot of work and got a different prize from the international prize to the national prize. And we also finished the only one, the Architecture District Museum in Xi'an. And if you're interested, you can look for it in internet. And have one word. And since 1950s, Xi'an played a very pioneer in conservation field of China. The experience of Xi'an become a very important part in Xi'an. And as a director of Minister of Cultural Heritage site, Xi'an has contributed and will contribute valuable experience in conservation field. And this year in September, have a new international congress will hold in Xi'an. The title is Asia Experience, Preservation of Architecture Heritage in Rapid Urbanization. I behalf the organization committee invited all of you come to Xi'an this autumn. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Kusura bakmayın, şayet Xi'an kelimesini yanlış telaffuz ettiysem beni bağışlayın. Son konuşmacımızın da bahsettiği gibi Xi'an bir kent olaraktan koridorda belki doğu yakasında en önemli noktalardan bir tanesi ve koruma amaçlı kent planlamasından alt ölçeklere kadar inen çalışmalardaki sistematiğiyle araştırma, planlama, tasarım ve demonstrasyon çalışmaları ile giden bir sistematik içerisinde yürütülmüş gözüküyor. Ve bunu da kentin farklı alanlarında yaratılan çalışmalarda yapılan kazılarla ortaya çıkan veyahut da zemin üzerindekilerde kendini göstermiş olduğu sunumlarda bize çok net bir şekilde anlattılar. Kendilerine çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sorusu olan konuklarımızdan varsa lütfen rica edelim. Yoksa oturumu burada bitirelim, yemeğe geçeriz. Buyurun. Sorusu olanlar lütfen kendilerini aynı zamanda tanıtsınlar.
Yemeğe geç geldik diye sorma konusunda tereddütlerim var.
Tamam hocam. Galiba kimsenin sorusu yok. Oturuma katıldığınız için sizlere çok teşekkür ediyorum. Aynı zamanda sayın konuşmacılarının da ağızlarına, dillerine ve düşüncelerine hepsine çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sağ olun. İyi günler diliyoruz.
So maybe we're, yes, Miss Doti Tuvan, it's you. Please come to the... So before starting the session, I'd like to make a brief introduction presentation on dilemma of urban growth. While waiting for the people coming inside the hall, I hope that people can come in. And then Actually, I am living in Dakar, in Senegal, and working for the Ministry of Health as a JICA expert. And then this is a photo of taken outside of Dakar, in the suburb of Dakar, where there was a severe flood because lack of the sewage system. Whenever it rains, then it just becomes like this. It looks like all green, but actually this is water. And then people are obliged to leave, and some people has to leave because the water come in the house, and then it causes. The last year there was no cholera, but the year before there was cholera. And then because of this water, there is the mosquito, and then there is a risk of dengue and the malaria. So this is one negative side of city. Okay. So now we are talking about urban growth. And according to the United Nations statistics, in 1950, urban population was 28.9% of the world total population. And it has grown to 2005, 48.7%. And then now with 2010, we say that urban population is more than the half of the world population. So here is the graph. The red part is the urban population. As you can see, it is growing. The growth of the world population is mostly due to the urban population. So here we are in Istanbul. This is historical population of Istanbul from the year 1 to 2000. As you can see, there is this is the logarithmic scale on the y-axis, but as you can see, there is a very dynamic movement of population. It was around here in the 5th century. Then there is the decrease, and then Crusade came, the population decreased, Black Death, and then it has decreased the population, and occupation by Ottoman has decreased. And then after that, there is a big increase. So we talk about a lot for the population increase since the 19th century, but when you see the population increase rate in Istanbul, before this modern population increase, there was the same degree of population increase in the 15th and 16th century. And then if we see the speed of this change, then we can see this historical figure that we can learn a lot from history. So now we are going to talk about, this session is dilemma of urban growth, and then we can, most of the time urban growth is considered to be something negative, but there are also many good things for the urban growth. And then, for example, in the urban agglomeration, you can have health and education facilities, and also water supply system, sewage for hygiene, and also compact transport system, and many more things. So I would like to, for presentators, to discuss about your city, the good point and bad point, and the historical point of view. So first, I would like Mr. Özdemir Sommes, do I pronounce well? Who is the advisor to the Minister of Planning Coordinator at IMP, professor at Yildiz Technical University.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chair. And dear organizing committee, dear distinguished guests, first of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this conference. I'm sorry the audience is a bit less, but today and tomorrow in Istanbul there are 3 conferences as well, almost on the same issue. One in Istanbul Technical University, and one in Lütfü Kırdar Congress Center. So that's why the participants are not very much. But in any case, I'm really happy to see you here, especially from very far countries. and I'm happy to share our experience with you. So first of all, I'm just going to give some brief information about population growth of Istanbul after 50s. And then I'm going to try to give you some information about our works, what we are doing as a greater municipality, Istanbul Greater Municipality, and Istanbul Metropolitan Planning Center. Yeah, about 50s, the industrialization started in Turkey and mostly in Istanbul. Since then, Istanbul is a target for all job seekers from all over Turkey. So about 5% every year, population of Istanbul is growing. That means almost 400,000 or 500,000 people, that means a middle-sized city, is added every year to Istanbul's population. And this population coming from eastern part of Turkey, southeastern part of Turkey, and north part of Turkey, central Anatolia, almost all from all over Turkey. In Marmara region, there are about 5 sub-regions, and those sub-regions, except maybe Çanakkale and Balıkesir, the others, they are receiving quite high percentage of immigration too. But Istanbul is the most dominant one. Kocaeli is the maybe second one. Of course, there is a reason Marmara region is pulling all this immigration from everywhere, because of the job opportunities and because of all the other facilities such as education, university, health, etc., etc. And that's why Marmara region now almost 20% of Turkish population live in Marmara region, and 50% of the economy, almost 50% of the economy is turning over in Marmara region. That's why there are some really strong access. There are some really strong access, and the center is Istanbul through Marmara region. So we can maybe figure out more clearly here. It starts from Kocaeli and comes to Istanbul. Istanbul is the most highest dense place, and then if we don't interfere, this especially industry moving towards to Tekirdağ, Edirne, and Kırklareli, which is in the western part of Marmara region, but also a very important place in terms of the agricultural land. So that's why another issue for the planners to stop the especially industry moving towards Thrace region. After giving this very short, very brief information, now I would like to share our planning experience with you. about 50s, the population of Istanbul was about 1 million. And there is a dramatic growth. As you see, 1980s, 2010, at the moment we reach almost 13 million. And if we don't interfere this population growth, according to the trends, the statistical projections, it is expected to be between 20 and 25 million, which is a really big threat for Istanbul metropolitan area and big threat for all the historical and natural assets. So that's why when we start working on the plan of Istanbul, that was almost end of 2005. Of course, the first objective or first issue of the plan was the population growth rate. And that's why, apart from all the others, our first of our target was to slow down the population growth. Of course, we know that we cannot stop it suddenly, or we cannot push the population out of Istanbul, but we should be able to slow down first the population growth rate, and then after a while to stop and to stabilize the population. So that's why there was some policies for the planning. First, to achieve sustainable development, to achieve structural change in urban economy, to consolidate the industry, decentralization of the centers, improvement of transportation and logistic infrastructure. By saying that, if we carry on growing and enlarging the city as before, these blue zones, they are the build-up areas, so they are making a big pressure towards north, which is a forest area, agricultural area, and water catchment areas are situated. So here, at the moment, this is the new border of Istanbul province. Within these borders, almost 24% of the area are satellite area, 23% agricultural, and 50% is the forest area. So for us, they are the red lines that we have to preserve. First of all, in the office, we have founded about 14 different departments. All those departments, they were in different professions. One of them, they were searching historical and natural site of Istanbul. The other one, it was about earthquake risk areas. Another department was searching about natural and cultural areas, forest, agricultural, ecological, natural risk areas, geological suitability, and all those departments, they have done their work, they have done their research, and they were the support of Istanbul strategical plan. So all of them we put all together, and after analyzing all those different aspects, then we try to prepare a synthesis in order to find out our limit, our building up limits. Then we find out that if we try to preserve all those natural assets, then we have to interfere the population. Because if the capacity of Istanbul, according to all those works, the capacity of Istanbul seems 16 million. And if we cannot keep the population under 16 million, that means we will be we will be losing some of our forests or agricultural land, or especially water catchment areas. So that's why, first of all, the target of the plan to manage the population keep under 16 million. Of course, our law, constitution, doesn't allow us to forbid the people to come Istanbul or somewhere else. So we have to find a solution within the democratic rules and using the plan as a tool, as a almost only tool. So that's why, first of all, we checked out that all the population moving to Istanbul is coming because of job opportunities. And within these job seekers, more than 80% are looking for a job in industrial sector. So that means if we manage to slow down the industrial sector, growth of industrial sector in Istanbul, and if we manage to direct this sector to other places in Anatolia or out of Marmara region, then it was a great tool, or it was very important tool for us to slow down the population. But again, according to the law, we have right only studying about plan in Istanbul, not out of Istanbul. That's why we have studied some, I mean, in general in Turkey, but that was only a report, only a suggestions to send, to give some relevant institutions. In the meantime, we have to legally we have to put our rules within Istanbul. So that's why we have analyzed the industry, and we classified in the industry in three sections. One, the industry to be rehabilitated, the industry to be saturated, and the industry to be transformed. We are doing this one also if we look at the other metropolitan cities such as London or Paris or Berlin or Milan. So we will see that the the proportion of industrial sector within the labor force is less than 20%. But in Istanbul, this proportion is more than 35%. So that's why this shows us that one of our important tool that we have to slow down the growth of industry or to decrease the proportion of industry in Istanbul. And in Istanbul, some of them we in the plan we propose to remove from Istanbul's city to organized industrial areas around Istanbul, and some of the industry we propose to change the structure of industry to technology based production, and the other one, such as Kartal, I'll give you maybe, if I have time, I'll give you some information, to transfer the industry from industry to service sector and maybe some of them trade sector or residential sector as well. So here we see all the different parts, industrial parts within Istanbul, and some of them they are removing, some of them rehabilitated, some of them saturated. The other tool that we are trying to do to decentralize the central business district within Istanbul. Because at the moment Istanbul metropolitan area is a monocentric area, so and this existing CBD leads to traffic congestion along the Bosphorus axis. Business traffic circulating around CBD leads to development pressure on the Bosphorus area and crossings, encourages the expansion of the city towards north that we have to preserve. So that's why in the plan we try to create two new central business districts, one in the west side of Istanbul and the other one east side of Istanbul. Here every day the people traveling to west and every morning and coming back in the evening, 8% of them are coming to work in the service sector. So that means we have a really big gap in service sector in the eastern part of Istanbul. 35% of the population are living here in the eastern part, and 65% of the population are living in western part. But 8% of the people are working here in the western part, and only 20% of the people are working here in eastern part. So that's why first in first step, for us important point to create a center in eastern part too. So, and here we see some details of the center hierarchy of the metropolitan area. I'm very sorry, I think I have a short time. 5 minutes? Really? Okay, I'm very sorry. I try to be quick. So these are the hierarchy of Istanbul, center of Istanbul's. And in order to achieve that, we proposed some of the area as a regeneration areas. One, the important one is the Kartal, and the others around western part and within Istanbul side as well. So these are also important tools of the plan, what we are trying to achieve within Istanbul. So, on the other hand, housing strategy was another tool for us. Basically, we are trying to limit the housing construction in 16 million people. I mean, this is another tool, and trying to also to decentralize this and to plan this housing area within Istanbul as well. So here we see some new housing areas out of the center, and some urban regeneration areas again within Istanbul. So here we see these yellow colors, and these brown colors, they are all built up, all existing built up areas in Istanbul. So these are some details. So some special planning zones and project areas within Istanbul metropolitan area. So, in the housing sector, at the moment, there are two very important institutions in Istanbul. One of them is Prime Ministry Mass Housing Administration, is called TOKİ. Now they have the major role to produce the housing, and the other one is Kiptaş. It's Municipal Cooperation for Housing Production. So some projects, their projects around Istanbul again. This is the Kiptaş. And other, one of our planning objective was the transportation. Here our policies or main strategy, investing in mass transportation and intermodal transportation. Here, at the moment, we see existing railway access in Istanbul, and this is the totally 266 kilometer. So we are proposing about 600 kilometer new railway system within Istanbul. I think computer leaving us. Yeah, okay, working. And another strategy of plan was the harbors and logistics system, because at the moment it's really not organized and not in a plan, and quite messing up the city. So the vision of the plan was for Istanbul was culture and tourism, finance, science and technology, fashion, sports, entertainment, transports, and logistic for all Istanbul. So I would like to finish up here, and if there is any question, I'll try to give an answer. Thank you very much for your patience.
So just they have told me that this place has to be finished at 5:30, and there will be no more coffee break. So if you would like to have some coffee, then you just go and get it. And I would like to each presentators to speak in 15 minutes. I'm going to make a sound after 15 minutes so that you can finish. So Mr. Abraham Wokne from Ethiopia, he couldn't make. So I'd like to give the floor to Professor Boris Litvinov from Irkutsk State University of Technology.
Dear colleagues, I would like to speak about dilemma of urban growth in Irkutsk city. I speak English. It's for the first time I speak English. Usually I speak French or Russian. There is a Shakespeare question. To be historical city with its identity or not to be. So at present in Irkutsk there are certain tendency of aggressive installation of new business activities in historical city. Ordinary strange architecture, urban projects, ignoring its historical state. In 1970, Irkutsk was included in the list of Russian historical cities, by the resolution of the Russian government. Irkutsk, it's not so old, but its urban growth was rapid, dynamic. Irkutsk was founded in 1661 at the confluence of the Angara and Irkutsk rivers, not far from famous Lake Baikal. Irkutsk received the city status in 1682. Thanks to its geographical position, Irkutsk became primal merchant center and main link between with Russia and China. In 1642, Irkutsk became the capital of East Siberia, including even Alaska. Some later, in 1784, got first a master plan. Migration factors are colonization, tea road, gold mining, construction of Trans-Siberian Railway, after that revolution, the collectivization, etc. In 1661, our population was only 100 Cossacks. Today, the Irkutsk city current population is about 600,000. At the same time, the Irkutsk agglomeration total is 1,200,000. In 2001, we elaborated the strategy of protection and development of Irkutsk city by the contract of UNESCO. I must mention that in 1998, Irkutsk Historical Center was included by the UNESCO committee into the preliminary list of World Cultural Heritage as a unique urban complex of monuments of archaeology, history, wooden and stone architecture. This strategy consists of two parts, analytical and project supposition and recommendation. Sure, each town has a lot of problems. There are some problems in Irkutsk. Traffic, a deficit of green space, but the main one consists the degradation of old traditional wooden environment. After the Great Russian Revolution, politic of government was to destroy blocks of wooden houses, to clean the space for build multi-story buildings. Really, several hundred wooden houses was destroyed. These wooden houses been neglected for a long time. At present, the blocks of wooden houses have no water supply, modern heating, and another infrastructure. This program is based on the position that actually Irkutsk has a rich variety of historical cultural heritage. This kind of variety had allowed human beings to settle down compactly on its geographical complex. The preserved town planning strategy reflects its different town forming stages. They began from its military settlement fortification to town planning objects. The preserved town planning structure reflects different town planning, I said it. Historical architecture heritage represent stone palaces. Our task not to deal with preservation and conservation, as well urban growth. In Irkutsk city, the most perspective sort of economic life are being concentrated: trade, services, finances, culture, tourism, etc. Irkutsk historical city has great economical potential, which needs its realization in town interest. It's necessary that we should create some condition for an intensive self-development and business activities. We can renew our city with the help of international organization, city and regional administration, and sure, with private investor and town inhabitants. Consequently, the forming and realization of the reconstruction strategy should be performed by maximum openly attracting of participants as Irkutsk inhabitants, experts of all interested parties. And now the new tone in politics gives new hopes. It seems that Irkutsk wooden architecture has got a chance for the future. In order to use wood as basic for Irkutsk identity, all the necessary information have always been available. Unique blocks of wooden, professional restorers, big money circulating in the construction industry of the city. For many years, the relation between them have been tense and hostile. To initiate their cooperation, only a little things was needed. It's a political will. I'm an optimist, and I think the ice has started breaking up. As an instrument of international partnership, 12 years ago was created unique mechanism of action. It's a Winter University of Urban Planning and Design. It's a forum of international projects for our city, where students and young architects work together in international teams for one problem topic and represent the projects to administration, to the public institution. That's all.
Thank you, Professor Litvinov, to be on time. So I would like to give the floor to the next speaker, Professor Zheng Wen from Central China University of Science and Technology, Wuhan in China.
Good afternoon. It's a good chance to share Professor He Yi and my research case study with everyone. To see China's urbanization development from the perspective of a rustic village's transformation. Part 1. Urbanization in China. Chinese farmers take up about 60% of the total population. It is a real phenomenon in the world that hundreds of millions of farmers seek jobs in cities. Urbanization in rural areas means the farmers being transformed into city residents locally, living the land but not their hometowns, achieving the purpose of narrowing the gap between urban and rural areas by improving the living standard of farmers. Urbanization has become one of the basic national policies of China's present social and economic development. The following is the transformation process of a village in Shanxi province, which can be taken as a microcosm to say a specialized Chinese urbanization process, which is advancing urbanization by tourism, fanning out from point to area, developing the town by the village. This is a case of snake swallowing an elephant. Part 2. Background of this case. Shanxi. Shanxi is rich in coal as well as heritage among Chinese provinces. As a coal-rich province, the coal-bearing strata takes up 40% of the total area of the province. As a land-heritage-rich province, ancient buildings constructed before Tang and the Song dynasty take up 72% of the country's total amount. Loss of Shanxi. Buddhist culture. Middle of Shanxi, culture of Jin merchants. West of Shanxi, culture of cave dwelling. South of Shanxi, culture of defense. Private culture along the Qin River basin. The snake. The snake in this case, Huangcheng village, with a population of about 700, is a small village in Jincheng city, south of Shanxi province. The local people living inside the mountains built magnificent castles in Ming and Qing dynasty to prevent banditry. People there live in the castles, living by their ancestors, relying on a small amount of arable land to live lives of poverty. Many of the buildings will collapse because of lacking maintenance funds. This is the old house on the brink of collapse. The picture shows the old house on the brink of collapse. This picture shows the old house with no roof. This picture shows an uninhabited courtyard. An ancient temple on the brink of collapse. Part 3. Development experience of Huangcheng village. The first stage, coal accumulation period. Since 1980s, Huangcheng village has taken advantage of country's policies to set up a major coal production economy system by the Committee of Village and has second property preliminary. The second stage, upgrading period by tourism. 10 years later, using the money accumulated by coal mines, people in Huangcheng village restored cultures, developed the tourism industry, utilizing the celebrity effect of Chen ancestor, who were officials in the royal court. They fully built the tourism brand in imperial city and the prime minister mansion to enhance popularity. Villages has staged the same story every day, reproduction of glory of their ancestors. The third stage, technology expansion period. In the third decade, the village established industrial group of imperial city and the prime minister mansion, acquired Aide Pharmaceutical Company Limited, constructed coal chemical projects, which have laid a diversified industrial structure for Huangcheng village. In 2008, is honored one of the 10 most charming towns in China. The fourth stage, regional development period. In the background of advancing coal mine corporate mergers and reorganizations by the People's Government of Shanxi Province, the coal mine company in Huangcheng village have merged the coal mines in 6 surrounding villages. Huangcheng village is facing a new stage, merging 10 villages with about 10,000 people and establish a tourism economic zone. Among them, Guoyu, the elephant in this case, was a large town in history. 8 villages, including the Huangcheng village, was once under the jurisdiction of Guoyu village. This is Guoyu village. This is the remaining momentum of Guoyu village defense building. Remnant of the walls in Guoyu village. New tourism economic zone means to transform the tourist scene spots into a tourist sensory zone. To combine cultural resource of the 10 villages into a big cultural tourism industry. This is straight along the river in Shangzhuang village. This is a Twin Tao Temple in Daqiao village. This is Asian castles in Xiangyu village. To solve the employment of villages by tourism service industry, let's lead in the overall region to elevate poverty. This is a folklore hotel. This is traditional art of crafts. Those pictures show farmers' art show. And those pictures show reproduction of history scenes. Huangcheng village has firmly seized the historical opportunities of China's economic transformation. It has gone through a change from coal-oriented economy to tourism-oriented economy, from a village to a town. This example of fanning out from point to area and a snake swallowing an elephant has become a distinguished model of urbanization in Shanxi province. Thank you. Welcome to the Shanxi province of China.
Thank you, Professor Chen Wen. The small village seems to be a big town in the African sense, but I think that is the Chinese reality. So the next, I would like to invite Ms. Du Chi Tu Van, Deputy Manager of Research Department of Architectural History, Vietnam Institute of Architecture, Urban and Rural Planning in Hanoi.
Hanoi, capital of Social Republic of Vietnam, is the center of national politics as well as culture, science, education, economics, and international trade. In line of integration and development, it is obvious that position of Hanoi in global aspect should be upgraded. The National Assembly of Vietnam has approved the expanding in area of Hanoi. New expanded Hanoi has a total natural area of more than 3,000 square meters and total approximate population is 6 million persons. New Hanoi is now by 3 times in area in compared with the old one. That caused a lot of changes in economics, social, culture, etc. Forming a general construction scheme for Hanoi is considered as an urgent task which needed to be implemented. In order to build a strategy for development and fundamental to speed up social economic development, strengthen living standards of capital citizens, and to address pending issues occurring during the time of construction and urban development. Existing condition of Hanoi City is now facing up with many programs: quick urbanization with high economics, uncontrollable population growth. Investment is being spread. Developing is new beside the existence of the old, in which preservation and architectural heritage are not only significant in urban architecture, that is express the spiritual value of a people associated with the flow of culture. There are 8 major issues on conservation research. First is conservation of the political center Bating and Thang Long Imperial Citadel. The second is conservation of the old quarter. The third is conservation of the old town. The fourth is conservation of Lake Creek around West Lake. The fifth is conservation of Kola citadel, Santay ancient citadel. And the sixth is the conservation of villages and traditional handicraft villages. The seventh is the conservation of single relic and monument cluster. The eighth is preservation natural landscape. Based on the characteristic of each region to propose specific conservation. The first is proposed solution conservation of the political center Bating and Thăng Long Imperial Citadel. Bating political center is a recording of the important event in the history of the nation. On September 1945, at Bating Square ceremony birth Declaration of Independence of Vietnam Democratic Republic. And up to now, this is still the center of political headquarters of the party and state. Beside Bating Political Center is Thăng Long Imperial Citadel. Relic of ancient Thăng Long, Hanoi is the political center of Vietnam during the long time and continuously from 1010 to 1802. And after 1954, is the basic of the headquarters of Vietnam People Army. So that proposed conservation is preserve the original and true value and to work meet the goal of the new development. Solution of the preservation must be consistent with the nature of the political center. And proposed conservation of Thăng Long Imperial Citadel investigate area is expand conservation boundary in accordance with Hanoi map at Old Dynasty. The proposed of conservation of Hanoi Old Quarter. Hanoi Old Town before the 19th century. Thăng Long was divided into two parts, Royal Citadel and King Citadel. Old Town area at present is derived from the King Citadel outside Imperial Citadel. It was a residence of the Mandarin generals, soldiers, and people. In the current Old Quarter existing these categories of works. Religious architecture, the architecture of the Vietnamese, the Church of Islam, the Protestant churches, Assembly Hall of Chinese. The second, architect of the public culture work. And the trade architect, there is 3 markets. And the three house architect, just a place of scan front, very narrow, about 2 to 4 meters and about 30 depth, especially with the depth 50 to 60 meters through 2 roads. So that conservation proposed is on society culture. It is creates the old quarter, the value of cultural, social, and economic mix reflected in the structure of urban. So the design should be so subtle, creating urban lifestyle and landscape environment of specific growth, improve the living environment, preserve cultural value, spirituality, festival, restore the traditional economic activities on handicraft route, restore traditional space activity of people in the neighborhood. On architecture planning, preserve physical and mental element in the architectural space of the old quarter as a typical icon image of the capital. Preserve the integrity of architectural monument system in the old quarter. Preserve traditional handicraft route. Preserve morphological structure of square root. Preserve form of architectural work. On conservation management, there are regime and institution financial priorities to slacken population in the old quarter. Research, collect, survey, and estimate the system of reclick in the old quarter. Make a profile of ranking reclick. Establish management regulation to protect against infringement of relics, plan, restoration, restore monuments, organization structure of heritage, management and conservation. And the proposal Arkitera preservation. We have another name of this region is French Trees area. In the French colony period, to meet the demand of the administration system, the French have gradually planted trees area. Up to now, French trees area is considered one having modern planning architecture in Vietnam, making the appearance of kinds of architecture style and project in late 19th and early 20th century. So the preservation solution is the target is preserve and develop specific value. Preserve the structure of urban area with recognizing all trees area view in the French domination is national heritage. Preserve the structure of Chebos trees area. Preserve kind of architecture, village, culture and religions project. Embellish historical project must follow correct technique according to the document. Preserve and caring for green tree system, which must be seen as a kind of heritage. And the fourth is the proposal for preserve investigate around West Lake. Around West Lake area, there are total more than 60 of big and small cultural structures, of which including 20 pagoda, 5 temple, 4 rank communal house. This area was important place assemblage of typical of 1,000 years old culture, such as planting flowers and bonsai villages, traditional handicraft villages. Westlake has area of more than 500 hectares and his special ecological zone with typical creatures such as black-coot bird, white duck. And the proposed preservation is must to preserve, investigate, parallel with breastwing ecosystem because natural around hotel is abundant and valuable ecosystem needed to be protected. It must to preserve non-material culture value because the characteristic exists is non-material culture of this area are typical for traditional culture. Preservation is cooperating with tourist and trade exploitation. It is the advantage of the area that has been being in use. Preservation needs to be harmony with development. It must make a link with another area, preservation area and developed area. And proposed of preserve Kola and Sentei Citadel preservation. In the general master plan of expanded Hanoi, landscape of old citadel plays a very important role as special architectural structure and also have great value is demonstrate the urban structure transformation among periods. There are two important citadels including Zera Citadel and Sentei Old Citadel. They are investigated with special historical, cultural, spiritual, and architectural value. Investigate of their citadel demonstrate architectural transformation and are considered as one special type in orientation urban architecture. And the preservation viewpoint is preserve old citadel soil ground, brick ground, citadel gate. Preserve the structural space of this citadel, ponds, water tunnel, long-standing green tree system. Preserve a religious work, traditional housing inside around citadel, market area and community activity area. Control structural construction in sphere of preservation. Promote historical cultural value to create tourist area. And the proposal of preservation of village and traditional village. History of foundation and development of Vietnamese village is associated with the culture, history, population of Vietnamese. Villages are tightly, strongly narrow social structure and contain its excellent value of each ethnic culture. So the preservation is preservation partition of the overall village. Preservation for the village that retain architectural space and landscape tradition. Preserve the village center area to improve preservation and architecture and planning for recognizing the village that has been urbanized. Preserve group of monument and single monument. For group of monument, replanning the border for preserving monument to protect the monument community within the culture and environment landscape. Planning to localize the monuments that need preserving and to protecting areas should be built. Area 1. The area whose primary state must be preserved to maintain the monument and natural landscape. Seriously ban new construction. Area 2. The area surrounding Area 1, this is the area scale and height of building must be limited. Population density also needs restricting to protect the landscape. The cultural monument needs to be preserved in a comprehensive arranged master plan to preserve primary state of existing historical, cultural, and art value. The monuments that can be restored or reproduced by modern technique and material without breaking the historical and cultural values. For single monument, include monuments scattered in village, district with typical feature and historical, cultural, and artistic value. Preserve space and landscape of the building. For building near monument with this shape, then they should be destroyed and restore the landscape. For building near monument and the fluence monument are not high, they can be guided in design to measure promote the space, investing in preserving, restoring, and space around the building. And the last is preserve natural landscape. Preserve natural landscape is also river system, lake, mountain, preserve the tree and plant system to link the natural landscape with urban landscape and to control the construction project. Thank you.